Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of all the gaming stuff and goodness of hardware that we've been seeing the last weeks. And before we start, I'm also publish everything on Rumble and I'm all on these socials in case for extra support. So let's get started. The saga with the A620 motherboards continues to the point, at least from my point of view, because um, as we can see, they are ideal off the box, out of the box, for the non-X and the non-X3D CPU versions. But supposedly, there are some variants of these boards that support at least X3D CPUs. However, um, I think there's kind of mixed match information because I even went to the manufacturers' sites here on at least these four. I didn't go to the BioStar because it's a less known brand. For example, in MSI and ASUS and also in Gigabyte, they all mentioned that all the boards support all the CPUs. They say specifically in terms of wattages, at least the X3D CPUs, from what I could gather. However, at least the BIOS that comes with the boards doesn't only supports maximum 88 watts, which is not on the category of the X3Ds and the X variants of the M5 platform CPUs. That's why I've been doing some videos here and there, trying to correct the information because I was a little bit confused with information that I was picking up from here, from a lot of places. Supposedly, at least ASRock, I saw some news that the higher variant, so the $100, I can go here. Supposedly there was like in Newegg, I think, the higher variant, because they only have two versions here. $100 and supposedly supports everything. 7900 X3D, the 7950X and everything, up to 120 watts, as you can see here. No, the 7900X and 7950X, no, it's more than 120 watts, okay. So supposedly they also basically support the X3D variants and the non-X and some X variants, so the 66 and the 7700X variants. It's a little bit confusing here, but it seems that they are, even though that on the site there is like conflicting information. However, these kind of boards are more for budget builds. So if you are searching for one of these boards, at least take an account that you're only going to put it here, a non-X version and maximum an X3D version if the board itself handles, because the fact that it handles or not higher TDP wattage from the CPUs is regarding the power delivery. And the more cheaper and the less power delivery the boards usually have. So take an account on that. It seems that ASRock has already some listings on Newegg from this article here. We will see how it goes, because this is not being like a high publicized launch on this A620 boards here, but hopefully I will get more clarification here. I only speak here now when I see some reviews here and there of these boards, if I can find any reviews of these boards, because I don't think they are going to send this for reviewers for them to review, but for sure Gamer Nexus, probably Hardware Unbox should have like at least one or two boards of these ones reviewed, and if so, I will let you know regarding this information. Continuing with hardware, supposedly Intel Battlemage and Celestial GPUs chips are already booked at the Fab factories at TSMC, which is good news if they are already booked. Supposedly they have to pay it, so at least we have Celestial. We don't need to worry about, because there was a lot of internal mixing around some higher up positions there. One of the heads left or was fired. There is, we never kind of know this kind of things. Supposedly he left to found an AI company or whatever it is. It was the guy that one of the main founders of the ARC thing for the Intel stuff. So yeah, this guy, Raja Kudori. Sorry, I didn't remember his name. It's been a little bit shaky here because there was a lot of turmoil, thinking that Alchemist didn't go very well. But they are very good cards for mainstream, like 1080p and 4040p. They are pretty good, very competitive. And for all intents and purposes, Battle Mage will be an improvement, and I think they will try to introduce more, trying to reach high-end GPUs. I think they are trying to reach like 4080 kind of performance on their high-end for Battle Mage, and then Celestial supposedly, of course, this is all predictions, it is going to be the 2025, if that. Celestial should kind of double up on the performance on the Battle Mage, from what I can see regarding the information of ARC GPUs. But they are very good. The Alchemist ones for 1080p and the 770, sorry. For 4040p, entry level 4040p, they are very good, and they are very competitive in terms of price to performance. We also I saw this like now when I was preparing for this video, supposedly the 4070 Ti. Of course, it's way slower than the 4070. The 47 non-Ti, it's basically 20% slower on the Ti version. However, this kind of performance is like benchmark stuff, so it's not like gaming performance or anything like that. And basically it's the fact that it is slower, it's mainly due to the CUDA cores count, because in terms of memory it's 12 gigabytes, and in terms of memory bus is 122 bits, I think. So everything is the same except for the CUDA cores, I think, if not mistaken. I think it's basically the only main difference here. The ROPs, whatever, and the lower frequency, of course, because it has less, and the compute is almost like less 50%. I don't think this is going to be. It's the pricing. Every product is good, depending on the pricing. The 4070 Ti should be around at least 650, maximum 700, at least at MSRP launch price, and this one should be at least 150 lower, so around 450, maximum $500 to be kind of competitive, because we are going to see these old cards until we get the 5000 series, because the manufacturing process, because they changed from Samsung to TSMC. I think we maybe, this is my prediction based on the things that I've been seeing, I think we maybe see better prices in the next one, the 5000, but still the 48 is a very good GPU, even for 4K. 4070 Ti, it's 1440p, and I don't think it can handle all games at maximum quality settings in 4040p, 4K in some cases, but this the 70 Ti, it's just 1440p, and 4070 will be a 1080p, 1440p, middle of the road here. And these ones, I don't know what to do with them. 1080p, 4050, it's just for you to see something on the monitor. Potato graphics, I don't know. I don't know what the NVIDIA is. It's what I've been telling you. It's kind of basically how Apple does their things. They just launch hardware good enough, sufficient enough to handle what they have in terms of proprietary technology. And because in this case, NVIDIA, it's going to be just to announce that with the DLSS technology and the fake frame rates and the fact that upscaling technology, they're just trying to fool you to a certain degree, because if you want to see the processing power of a GPU, and then of course the fact that this is good for gaming, but a lot of people buy this also to do some light productivity work, and the fact that you have a slower GPU, this is going to affect your productivity workflow, and it's basically just to sell you the technology, because you're basically in 4070 you will need basically to get the upscaling technology, so it's not even processing things in the resolution that you want. It's kind of dependent on the algorithm that they have and NVIDIA to try to guess the highest resolution through vector mapping and whatever, movement vector mapping, I think it's what it is, and then trying to with another technology reduce the lags because of the frame rates they're trying to introduce with the DLSS-free frame generation. It's a mess all over the place. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it's worth the price they're asking. It's preferable for you to or wait for the price to get lower, or in this kind of middle of the road, at least go if you really need a GPU, just go for the previous generation, the 30 series, if you have a good deal. But still, NVIDIA in previous generation is getting beating in terms of price to performance from AMD, in basically in all camps, except if you want ray tracing. But ray tracing itself, it's kind of a gimmicky, because if you think about it, unless you have a lot of static imagery, you will not notice the effects they are trying to sell you. If you're playing, for example, a racing game, you will not notice basically the reflections. You might get a glimpse here and there, but you're not focused on seeing if the world is beautiful around you. If you're playing a shooter, the same thing. Usually when you play shooters or multiplayer games, you just load quality because you want better responsiveness of the system and more frames to reduce the lag input on the game itself. It's this kind of technologies, they are kind of useful in very specific cases, and before you buy it, before you go with the hype with all the technologies and all the things, just think about it, what kind of games you play, and if you really need a GPU that it's more expensive, and it depends on, to a certain point, of a kind of a gimmicky way of the technologies they are selling you. Don't go just by what the companies tell you what they are offering. Just think about in your case, your case, what kind of games you play, what kind of maybe extra work flows that you have in terms of productivity, if you do some of them, and just go. I always advise go price to performance, the better price to performance possible. It's like anything that you buy, price to performance. You might have money to buy a Ferrari, but if you're going to go a Ferrari to go in the city, it's a waste of money for what you are doing with the product that you are buying. Basically, it's my main thing in everything that I buy or see, and it's almost like life advice. We will see how it goes, and I will let you know when I have more news regarding this. We are getting prepared for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Effects are live here again. I like very much these guys. They are very independent. They are crowdfunded to a certain point, and they are very excellent on their guides, wikis, in a lot of RPGs and this kind of games. And they had like a hands-on gameplay impressions. In the video, the gameplay, I think it's something that the guys at the studio gave to them to show off, but there is a very comprehensive article here, and the video also. I watched the video on how they improved in a lot of areas. I still saw the walking animation is a little bit janky. It doesn't seem very normal for a person to walk like that, but it's the only thing that I saw that was a little bit out of the ordinary. the rest seems pretty okay. I think they improved everything, like the map sizes, the enemy variants, the combat, and they have like mounts now, I think, that can be used for environment puzzling things. It seems an improvement regarding the previous game. I didn't play the previous game, but it's for all intents and purposes it's very good. I think it's one of the solving things that Star Wars universe has. It's this game franchise, but yeah, just check it out. I will leave a link in the description. We have more mods, which is always good. Mod to the rescue on all the games that I've been launching, and supposedly they are introducing a fully playable Ashley and Ada versions here, which is always good to see if you like to play around with the game. It's always good to see that mods are awesome. And regarding this game, there is like some, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want voice actress. I don't know. I didn't see any footage of the game. There seems to be some people that are not very happy with her performance, and they decided to take it on the Instagram, on her social media, and basically bully her for her until she deleted basically the Instagram account. This is not acceptable. You can not like people's performances as any kind of acting, voice acting, normal acting, even theater acting, whatever it is. Even if you don't like, usually, and even if I don't like, there are a lot of things that you have to take into account: the direction, the production, the editing. In this case, in video games and movies, you get a lot of things that can make or break an acting on an actor. So there are a lot of things to take into account, and maybe people, even if you don't like it, maybe it's not their fault. Basically, it's the direction that they gave her to voice this character. I don't have any opinion because I don't know. I didn't see any gameplay or video of her acting, but I think she's a good actress, voice actress in general, from the work that she done. But there is no need. I think it's stupid to try to arrest people with if you don't like an opinion, or if you don't like something that you saw. I think it's so dumb. I don't have a lot of words to this. It's unexcusable. That's my take on it. And basically, okay, let's go, because I have a lot of things to say about it. But basically, this is my main takeaway. Don't. There's no need to. The Last of Us Part 2, Part 1, Part 2 will going to be another one. But there is like a Vulkan mod that can improve performance and fix crashing issues. However, it will only work for NVIDIA GPUs and doesn't have support for DLSS, only for FSR. It's kind of a little mix and match, but it's a mod. It's a workaround on the issues that The Last of Us Part 1 has been having on PC ports. There is like an access mod link here. Basically, what exchange is, instead of using DirectX 12, it will use a Vulkan API. And that's why I think Vulkan doesn't support very well DLSS, and because this is a mod, so it's not officially made by the developers, this kind of support. So DLSS is disabled, so AFSR only, and it only works at the moment, this mod, for NVIDIA GPUs. But I don't think you'll have a lot of issues with AMD, because usually the main issues regarding, from what I can gather, The Last of Us crashing issues is like VRAM usage, and I think AMD handles better because usually they have more VRAM on their GPUs, so I think it's not going to be a big of an issue. But yeah, mod community to the rescue of games again. They are the saviors of a lot of Bethesda games, except Fallout 76, because it's an online game, so it doesn't have like mod support or anything like that. And I'm going to wrap up here with Atomic Heart. It's the game of the gaming deal of the day. 20% off and or 25% off on the premium edition. It's good to see this is the first game of these developers. It's good to see that they did a pretty good job on their first game that they launched, and for that, when the game is good, I think you should support it in the best way you can, even if you're trying to take advantage of a gaming deal or something like that. Even if it's just the basic version. Again, I'm not very fond of this kind of several editions, maximum 2 editions, and even though it's a little bit too much for me, but yeah, it's the market that we have, and we have to play with what it is, the options that are given to us. But yeah, it's for all intents and purposes a very good game. Story wise, I don't know. I don't. The only footage that I saw, it's review footage and trailer footage, so I'm not sure how the story goes, but I think it has it's very good overall. And I will wrap up for today with my Go Get Funding campaign for me to upgrade my PC to get better, more content for my private clients, and also start doing some video work for them. They have been asking me for some time now. And of course, in my free spare time, continue doing the gaming and the daily videos that I've been doing, trying to get some scripted content for some deep dives that I want to make, and of course resuming my gameplay series, and of course in the near future, after upgrading, doing some live streams. And all that said, guys, I will see you in the next one. Hope you have a wonderful day. Till then, Kunamy Master out.